Hi. If you... Oops, hang on. There we go. Hi. If you don't know who I am, my name is Maddie, and I'm a diabetic. Now, when you think of diabetes, you might think of overweight, unhealthy people who eat nothing but donuts, bacon, and other super fatty, sugary foods all day. Well, I'm sorry to say, but in some cases, you're wrong. First things first, though. What is diabetes? Diabetes is an autoimmune disease that affects the way your body reacts to glucose. And glucose is made whenever you eat or drink something with sugar, carbs, or anything like that. Now, roughly 8.3% of the world population has diabetes of some form. And out of that 8.3%, 90 to 95% of diabetics are type 2, 5% are type 1, and 2 to 10% are gestational. There are other types of diabetes, but we're not going to get into those today. I am a type 1 diabetic, and type 2 is most likely what you think of when you think of diabetes. But this video isn't all about the boring statistics and information. No. This is the story of my diagnosis. July 2nd, 2011. My mom and I were laying on the couch. I was wearing shorts. It was summer and it was super hot out. Now, to say I was skinny was an understatement. I was almost skeletal. So, for some reason, I honestly, to this day, have no idea why, I wanted to weigh myself, and I'm glad I did. So, with my family's crappy scale that we still have that looks like this, I weighed myself to be 50 pounds. Now, that's dangerously low on its own. Of course, I tell my mom my weight, and she immediately called the doctor. Before I knew it, we were in the car on the way to his office. My pediatrician ordered blood and urine tests for me, thinking it was an infection that could be cleared up in no time and I'd be feeling better almost immediately. But when he got the results back, it wasn't good, if you couldn't tell. My blood sugar level came back at 472. Now, to put that in perspective, a non-diabetic's blood sugar should be around 100 to 120. My blood sugar level now that I've been diabetic for a while should be around 100 to 150. Now, imagine a tiny, pale, skeletal-looking girl with all of that sugar in her blood. Not really a pretty picture. My pediatrician, Dr. Chow, urged us to go to the hospital, and off we went. I don't remember feeling much at all. I just know that I hated the whole experience. Up until that point, I always thought the hospital was for people who had something wrong with them. And I didn't think I had anything wrong with me, so why was I there? I was so afraid, but I don't remember crying all that much. Nonetheless, I was admitted. The doctors and nurses helped lower my blood glucose. My parents were taught how to properly load a syringe and inject insulin into my arm. They left to arrange my prescriptions in meters that would become a permanent part of my life. I didn't find this out until earlier this year, but on the way back to my room, my mom broke down and cried, and I had never seen my mother cry before. Family came to visit, aunts, uncles, cousins, godparents. They gave condolences, spent time with me, and helped me and my parents in any way they could. Luckily, I had not had a crisis onset, and I was able to be discharged the very next day. But I had to begin a new kind of existence. I began logging my food, checking my blood sugars 10 times a day, and administering shots to myself 4 or 5 times a day. But fast forward to today, I am so much healthier. I'm so much happier. My mom, as my mom would say, my hair is a whole lot bouncier, which is very true. And my friends don't see me as the diabetic friend, they see me as me. And as I was discussing this last little bit with my mom, she had said that one thing I should probably say is that just because you have diabetes doesn't mean you are a diabetic. You are you. You are not your disease. Like if you have cancer or leukemia or like even ADHD or depression, you are not like the depressed person, or you are not cancer. You are someone who has cancer or depression or leukemia. That is not who you are as a person. You are you. And for all of my fellow diabetics, be it type 1, type 2, or any of the others I mentioned, you are going to mess up sometimes. I'm just going to say you're going to mess up. Your blood sugars are going to skyrocket, or they're going to skydive, and you may have to go to the hospital, or something's going to happen. You're going to mess up. I've messed up so many times, it's not even funny, and I've only been a diabetic for 7 years. You're going to mess up, and that's okay. Sometimes. You're going to mess up, and you're going to be able to fix it. Everything's going to be fine. Because it's not fun, but it happens, and you can fix it, and you can work from it, and you can move forward. You can live a normal life. I mean, heck, look at me. I am a high school junior who's had diabetes for 7 years now, and I still live a normal life. I still get somewhat decent grades. I still hang out with my friends all the time, and I eat all the foods that I ate back when I wasn't a diabetic. I just have to be more careful now and make sure I shoot for everything. But anyway, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a very long time because I like telling stories, and I've always wanted to tell one of my stories, and this is, I guess, one of the most important stories I have up to date, because it's a story of how my life changed forever 7 years ago. Yay! Anyway, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!